Hello, good morning, good morning. Perfect, thank you, Ludwig.
नहीं और आपको सामने सामने बोलना
तो मैडम का हो गया ना सर, पहले दिन ही हो गया, आप क्यों
सीरियसली फर्स्ट डे भी नहीं लिए।
वहीं से प्रेजेंटेशन बनवा के लेके आए, बच्चे स्लाइड में सारा वो कर रहे हैं।
4 मिनट का सर बेचारा लोग टाइम दिया, 8 मिनट का
Hello. Okay, good morning everybody. We will just start in 2 or 3 minutes. So if you can just settle down and then we'll start in 3 minutes or so. Thank you so much.
Bharat's holiest river. For centuries, she has been a nurturer, a lifeline, and a symbol of India's eternal spirit. But over time, the mother was burdened by
आप सर ये थोड़ा आगे ही बैठना है. आप यू कैन सिट इन फ्रंट ओनली ताकि जब हम आपको इनवाइट करेंगे सो इट्स इजीियर. हाँ वही एक जो very nice.
हट जाते हैं.
How many people have joined online, Chavi? Online? Acha, we will not know how to join. Yes, hello, check. Good morning.
आनंद रूपिणी विष्णु रूपिणी रुद्र रूपिणी जय हो मां गंगे। आनंद रूपिणी विष्णु रूपिणी रुद्र रूपिणी जय हो मां गंगे।
ओ बहती धारा तुम ही सहारा, तुमसे है जीवन तरंगे। नमामि गंगे, नमामि गंगे, ओ नमामि गंगे। संसार रूपी पावन मूर्ति त्रिनेत्र वाली ओ भगवती गंगे। ओ बहती धारा तुम ही सहारा, तुमसे है जीवन तरंगे। नमामि गंगे, नमामि गंगे, ओ नमामि गंगे।
सदा तुम ही हो अमृत की धारा। पावन है तुमसे ये धरती सदा, तुम ही हो अमृत की धारा। सदियों से वरदान हमको मिला, तुमसे है जीवन ये सारा।
Yes. What a lovely note to start this session on, right? Great. A very good morning to all of you. And we welcome you to this session, which is titled River Cities Reimagined, Climate Smart and Basin Sensitive Urban Development. My name is Victor Shinde. I work at the National Institute of Urban Affairs, which is the think tank of India's Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. And I'm going to be your host for this session today. So this session is being co-organized by GIZ, India's National Mission for Clean Ganga, and the National Institute of Urban Affairs. And the session is a product of the work that the three organizations have been doing over the last several years, addressing different aspects and different scales of river management in the Ganga Basin. And one of the collective learnings that we've had over the years, has been that in order to have a truly sustainable strategy for river management, it is really important to consider the urban element of river management. And there's a reason for this. Because if you look at it, some of the greatest deterioration in the state of rivers today is because of anthropogenic pressures, development pressures that have been aggravated because of cities. So the logic is simple. If cities have been part of the problem, they also need to be part of the solution. So it is with that thought that we conceptualized this session, which we're calling River Cities Reimagined. And the key word here is reimagined. This reimagination requires cities to adopt a proactive and a transformative approach to management rather than pursuing the traditional end-of-pipe and band-aid solutions that are purely reactive in nature. This is particularly imperative for solving some of the wicked problems when it comes to river management, such as addressing encroachments in floodplains and so on. This reimagination also requires cities to acknowledge that the river is not a standalone entity. It's a system. It's a system of interconnected elements, interconnected stakeholders, encompassing environmental, social, and economic aspects. And managing the river is actually managing this system as such. This reimagination requires cities to understand that river management cannot only be the government's responsibility alone. Citizens will also have to step up to take the onus of action. City governments will need to work hand in hand with citizen groups in order to make this happen. And the good news is citizens are willing to do that. And we will see a little bit about that, as the session progresses. And finally, this reimagination requires cities to understand that river management is not a static exercise. It's an evolving paradigm. Right? With drivers like climate change already beginning to manifest its effects, it is important to stay ahead of the curve. And this is only possible when the river management models are conditioned to act and learn dynamically. So all in all, the primary objective of this session today is for us to discuss these different aspects of river management and the aspects of reimagining river cities as such. So we're very thrilled to have all of you here with us today. We have an exciting line of segments that we have kind of lined up for you. And we hope you'll enjoy these segments as much as we did while designing those. All right, let's get started then. To set the overall context for this session, I'd like to invite to the podium Ms. Laura Sustasic, who's the director of GIZ's support to the Ganga Rejuvenation program in India. So for the last several years, she's been working closely with India's National Mission for Clean Ganga on integrated river basin management, developing river management plans, and building capacity within national, state, and local institutions. So Laura, I'd like to invite you to the podium here.
Thank you. Good. Thank you. I don't know if this is working. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming to this session on River Cities Reimagined. I would like to start with a question. Is this not an oxymoron? River and cities. River, what an incredible creature, wild, free, running to environment, supporting life, animals, and humans. And cities, a man-made landscape that can be what further away you can think of from nature. Or is it rather a cultural and historical relationship where large cities were born on rivers and were nurtured by rivers? Think of Cairo, born on the Nile. Think of Varanasi, born on Ganga. Or look around you, think of Stockholm. So I will put it to you that is actually a little bit of both. Rivers have nurtured societies and have nurtured culture, but at the same time, we have been using rivers too much. We have been using rivers for water supply, for sand, for building material. We have been using rivers as dams and channels to take away all our waste, solid and liquid. We have been controlling rivers. We have been putting them in banks of concrete. We have been closing them. We have been encasing them. And we have made rivers disappear from the urban landscapes. So from a nurturing relationship, we passed to a parasitic relationship, where we are sucking out life of rivers. And why am I speaking of rivers and not water? Is that rivers are entities to which all of us can really relate to. Rivers have got lives. They are born, they grow, they flow, and they end up in the ocean. Rivers have got history that is much longer than human history. And rivers have got characters. They can be wild, they can be calm, they can be scary. So rivers maybe are even alive. Now, to quote Robert McFarlane in his beautiful latest book, Is a River Alive? So, should we think of doing something? We cannot now, to quote James Baldwin, the American human rights activist, we cannot be pessimists because we are human. So we need to do something, and we need to change paradigm, to put it upside down, and to put river development at the center of urban development. River development and its basin. Basins are supporting rivers, and basins are supported by rivers. And that's why the title of this session, River-centric and basin-sensitive urban development. Let us change the view and let us put rivers as living entities, or at least entities to which we can connect, at the center of our development. So we will need, and we will look during this session to different elements of this paradigm. Now, I don't want to get too technical, but you know the usual: governance, ecological restoration, infrastructure, grey and green, financing and economic mechanisms. We have the World Bank here, and the People-River Connect. So we have to change this, and we are here also to tell you stories about India. I work with the GRZ project in India that works with the National Mission for Clean Ganga, and we have been working on the river Ganga, that is the Ganges name in India, for a very long time. Now, Ganges River is the third largest river in the world by discharge. It is 2,500 kilometers long only in India. It crosses 5 federal states, and there are about 500 million people living in the basin. That's the whole of Europe. So imagine the task, the dimensions of the task. However, the Ganges is a sacred river in India. It is already a personality. It is actually a goddess in India. And it was declared in 2008 national river. Means that the Ganges is part of the national emblems and symbols for India. In 2014, the government launched a very big program. Now in India, programs are called missions. So this big program called National Mission for Clean Ganga, and started a significant effort to rejuvenate the river. In 2016, an authority notification was passed that transformed this PMU, let's say a project management unit that was the NMCG, National Mission to Clean Ganga, into a real basin authority with all the powers and responsibilities to manage the whole basin. So the project I lead, the Support to Ganga Rejuvenation GIZ project in India, has been working hand in hand with NMCG since 2015 to effect this institutional transformation from a PMU to a real basin organization to take up all powers and tasks to develop and protect the river Ganges. And also we have been working with NMCG to develop district Ganga plans. Now this is quite special in India. The authority notification requests and requires the development of 139 district Ganga plans, one per every district in the 5 STEM states. And why districts? This is, let's say, the smallest administrative unit to which we can translate hydrological planning into administrative, doable, actionable activities. So the district Ganga plans are plans and implementation roadmaps for improving the situation of the Ganges in India. You can imagine that in India, the largest country in the world for population, 1.5 billion people, the density is also very high, and the borders between the urban, peri-urban and rural spaces are very dynamic. Cities continue to grow constantly. They spill over into peri-urban areas spill over in rural areas, so much that often there is no solution of continuity between urban and rural areas. So districts are the ideal dimension to implement and translate hydrological actions into actionable activities at the administrative boundary, using the administrative powers of the structures of the government on the ground in India. And this is what we have been doing since, as I mentioned, 2015, and we are now helping develop and implement 40 district Ganga plans, more or less, in the Ganges Basin. So let's not forget the climate resilience. So putting rivers first means also seeing rivers as the solution to climate changes and climate adaptation, and not the problem. So the problem is not the flooding, the problem is that we have, with our anthropogenic development, tried to control the river. So let's put the river first also in this element. And I would like to leave you to listen to these fantastic discussions today with the question: reimagine river cities. Think what a river city should look like and feel like if we put the river first. And think of a word for it. Green, river-friendly, sustainable, whatever you think of. We will come at the end of the session and ask you for that one word in the Mentimeter, and we will have a nice word cloud with our imagination for river cities. So enjoy the discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Laura, for that succinct but yet very impactful and effective narrative of the framing of the session. Thank you for that, Laura. Okay, so with that, I'd now like to invite our keynote speaker for the day, Mr. Rajiv Kumar Mittal. Mr. Mittal is the Director General of India's ambitious National Mission for Clean Ganga, an initiative that uses a multi-pronged approach to achieve the wholesome rejuvenation of the Ganga and its tributaries. And he'll tell us a bit about how they are going about this task. So please, the podium is yours.
Good morning, everybody. So I will continue from where Laura left with a brief introduction of River Ganga.
Some pictures.
Before moving to River Ganga, I would like you to just take across the entire water sector. What is the Government of India's approach in dealing with the water sector over the last 7-8 years? The Government of India in last 7-8 years have launched 4 to 5 ambitious missions. One is Swachh Bharat Mission, which is dealing with the universal sanitation. Second is the Jal Jeevan Mission, which is about drinking water. Third is about rivers, which is National Mission for Clean Ganga, which we will talk in detail subsequently. And fourth is National Water Mission, which is more about the water security for the country. All these 4 missions have been very ambitious programs and have been achieved fantastic results. When we look at Jal Jeevan Mission, almost 85% of the India's population is now getting tapped water supply. When we're looking at National Water Mission, I mean, almost with the water conservation efforts, 12 billion cubic meters of water we have been able to conserve. So this is the kind of work which is going in India. And in this setting, the National Mission for Clean Ganga, which is about cleaning the rivers, is I will be presenting. So I will not touch on this slide, as Laura has already covered. This is what Ganga means to us. And as you can see from the pictorials, I mean, it is just more than an ecosystem. It is more than a river. It's a part of our cultural vibrancy. Now, coming to National Mission for Clean Ganga. So I would like to state very emphatically that this program had a very strong political commitment. And if we look at the vision set by our Honorable Prime Minister, I mean, we refer Ganga as our mother, and he was very clear that it should be a shining example of cooperative federalism. And he was very clear from the beginning that not only the river basin organization, Namami Gange, but all levels of the governance structures, whether it is the provincial government, whether it is the district government, every unit should be aligned to the overall objective of rejuvenating the whole river. And the objective which is set before the mission is to rejuvenate the river and to restore in its natural and the pristine condition. Easier said than done. Now, when we look at the program, it is an integrated river basin management program. If you look at the program size, till now, it is $4 billion US. And when you look at the facet of activities which is covered under this program, it deals with the pollution of the river, it deals with the flows in the river, it deals with the entire ecology of the river. It also deals with the river people connect in terms of economy and livelihoods. It also lays emphasis on people's participation, and it is a very strong focus on research, policy, and knowledge management. I will be covering each of these elements separately. And here I would like to say the Namami Gange program is very well aligned with the global SDGs, and it tends to align ancient wisdom with the global vision of the water. So when we look at all the activities, all our SDGs, SDG 6, SDG 11, SDG 13, SDG 14, SDG 17, are very well covered with the activities we tend to achieve in this program. Now, in terms of governance structure, here is where the Ganga experiment differs from the traditional river basin organizations. We have a three-level of structure, three-tier structure when we deal with the river basin. So we have a National Ganga Council, which is chaired by the Honorable Prime Minister. And this is the apex body which takes the strategic decisions in terms of aligning the objectives of the constituent units. Second, we have at the provincial level. In India, we call them states, but they're the regional units, the state governments, or provinces, I think, to the European equivalent. We have the state Ganga committees. These committees are less on policy, more towards execution, and more on monitoring. And the third tier is the lowest unit of the governance, administrative governance, which is District Ganga Committee. So all this structure is embedded in a legal framework, and all these structures works toward the rejuvenation of the river and the management of the river basin. So on the other side, when you look at it, when the program was started, we had a very comprehensive Ganga River Basin Management Plan, and it laid the foundation of the entire program in detail. So all the aspects were covered in this program, and it was formulated with the help of our best institutes to proceed with. Now coming to the various activities which we have taken under this program. One of the very important learnings from this program is certain ecosystem creation, certain innovations are very important to take these kind of missions forward. Though sewerage sector was there in the country and a lot of things were going on, but the entire approach to the sewerage question was transformed by the Namami Gange program. We brought in the hybrid annuity model, which ensured the sustenance, operations, and maintenance of the sewage sector. And subsequently, this model was replicated by the states, and now most of the states follow this approach. The kind of confidence this national mission gave to the private participation also led to a lot of innovations in the sector. So the point I'm trying to make is that when a river basin organizations take the entirety, the scale, and the overall perspective gives a lot of potential in terms of market development and participation of the private players. Similarly, we are also focusing on nature-based solutions. The photographs you are seeing here are the actual work done in some parts of the River Ganga. And we are also focusing on the small river rejuvenation. That is what we realize, unless the theme of this session goes, unless you connect with the local units, the local governance units, a river basin organization with this macro level view can't achieve the objectives in entirety. Now, in terms of restoring the river system, we have e-flows and the floodplain zoning, which is like give water back to river and give space to the river back. So all these efforts have been taken. A very comprehensive methodology for e-flows have been developed, and the contribution of the World Bank and the GIZ has been phenomenal in this kind of exercise, and now these exercises being implemented across the basin. Similarly, living space for the river is very important, and accordingly the floodplain zonings are being carried out. Now, in terms of the ecological restoration, the program also focuses on reconnecting the riverine wetlands. We are also focusing on the biodiversity conservation, and we are also focusing the afforestation. The gentleman you see in the second photograph, which is the red turtle, it disappeared from the Ganga about 15 years back. Now, after 15 years, we made an effort, and last year, we relaunched it back into the river, and now it is thriving there. Next. Again, one of the very important components and very strong focus of the program is on the River People Connect. As we said, we tend to celebrate our rivers in terms of mother. So we have a national festival on 4th of November, where we all unite and celebrate the river. So all the photographs you see, it's called Ganga Utsav. It's a Ganga festival where the river is celebrated. And we also believe that unless the younger generation is heavily involved into the rivers programs, the sustainability of all these efforts will be very difficult. So we are heavily focusing and investing in terms of the children's participation in this entire activity. And one more amazing thing I would like to tell you, we have a Clean Ganga fund. It's a philanthropy fund where everybody can contribute towards the cleaning of Ganga. And you would be amazed to know that the size of this corpus is 100 million. This all contribution has come from the various people. Now, another very important activity we have learned as we are progressing. The river basin organizations have to promote scientific research and knowledge management towards river. Because unless river is specifically focused, the scientific research and knowledge doesn't go in that direction completely. We have discovered many things as we promote this research, which were otherwise not coming into the public domain. So this is the kind of research which is being done. We have monitoring portals, we are using drone surveys, we are using aquifer mappings, and all kind of, in fact, one of the satellite imagery was also done, about 1969 photographs. Okay, what was the position of River Ganga then, and how it is looking now. Another strong focus of this program is on collaboration. And I must say that all our partners have tremendously brought in a lot of value to this program. We have assistance from the World Bank, we have assistance from the GIZ, we have a Center of Excellence with Netherlands, we have a Center of Excellence with Denmark. All these partnerships, collaborations have contributed a lot to the success of this program. Now, coming to the main topic for this session, basin-sensitive urban development. Victor has already clarified why this aspect is important. So, and as our Prime Minister has already laid emphasis, it is very important to align all the actors, all the stakeholders towards the river basin objective. A river basin organization, otherwise, when you look at it, it's a very macro level organization. And there are a lot of sub-actors in the entire game. There are people, there are communities, there are various parastatal organizations, there are various sub-national governments. So unless you align the objectives of all these forums, the complete alignment and harmony is not achieved towards the river objective. That's why we are playing a very, very important focus on all these involvement through various partnerships and various plans. So river-sensitive urban development, our approach is URMP, which is Urban River Management Program. And as you look, the entire focus of this plan is to cover all elements of the water cycle in this plan, and city is geared towards this kind of approach. Otherwise, city tends to look very narrow, and they tend to miss out various facets of the water cycle. So we have emphasis on the reuse of water, the master plans, and the people-river connect, delivering the economic potential. So all these elements are covered while framing these elements. And the entire idea is that the city should not look the river in a narrow fashion in terms of water, or the stretch which is in its boundary. It has to look river. And these URMPs give a very, very cohesive approach when we go for implementation. And one thing I would like to say in these kind of conferences, often rivers get lost in the dialogue for the water. When you work with the rivers, you realize the dialogue of rivers is much different than of water. We always think water in terms of, we always keep human behind when we talk of water. But we never think of rivers as rivers alone themselves are very important. So this is the kind of element we're trying to bring in the URMP. Okay, that river itself is an entity. Even without any need for human, river should exist on its own, should have a peaceful existence. So this is the entire idea. We will talk about more about these things when we go to the panel discussion. Now, in terms of some of the results, I would like to present before you how the program is faring. So at the start of the program and now the current position, there is definite improvement in the health of the river. So we have shown certain stretches. And the degree of scale is also being indicated how the program is protecting. So almost in every stretch there is an improvement, but river is far from being, say, completely clean or completely healthy. Effort is on, and we are sure we are moving in the right direction. The second bar chart shows about the biomonitoring. The biomonitoring results are also very good, and we are maintaining a good pace. And third thing is, which is the biggest measure of our outcomes, is about the presence of the biodiversity. So the picture depicts the Ganges dolphin, and when we now measure it, so there is a definite increase in the population of the Gangetic dolphins. The more encouraging part is that it has returned to the stretches where it was not there. It is now being sighted in the stretches where it was missing. The distribution has increased, and same is the case with the turtles and the hilsa fish. So biodiversity is returning and increasing, shows that we are moving in a right direction. And now the final slide. This initiative has been recognized as one of the world's top 10 restoration flagships in the COP19, and some other listings are there. So this is all the Ganga approach. In short, we tend to work on multifaceted dimensions, and we are working towards the wholesomeness of the river. And this is how we tend to forward. Thank you all for your patient hearing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mittal, for that very comprehensive overview of the National Mission for Clean Ganga program. And it's very encouraging to see the very nuanced and structured approach that the mission is taking to manage, the largest river basin in India, which is home to close to 500 million people, and as like he pointed out, also contributes to 40%, of the nation's economy. Okay, moving on, we have a very short video for you now that we have specifically made for this purpose. It describes the evolution of India's National Mission for Clean Ganga and some of the flagship initiatives that it has undertaken. So can we play the video, please? Fantastic.
Ganga, Bharat's holiest river. For centuries, she has been a nurturer, a lifeline, and a symbol of India's eternal spirit. But over time, the mother was burdened by pollution, by neglect, by the weight of millions who depend on her. Healing her became a national priority. Thus, the National Mission for Clean Ganga formed. With scientific planning at a basin level, NMCG undertook integrated action, abating pollution, restoring environmental flows, and reconnecting people with the river. Today, ecological restoration is visible, improved water quality, return of biodiversity, and cleaner stretches of the river. As the mission evolved, focus turned to our cities. NMCG, in partnership with NIUA, urban river management plans were created, linking basin-level science with local action. Through these plans, cities are reimagining their rivers, reviving ghats, treating drains, zoning floodplains, and shaping river-sensitive master plans that balance ecology with sustainable growth. Step by step, city by city, basin by basin, River Cities Reimagined is becoming a movement. From rural stewardship to urban planning to basin-wide governance, together we are making our rivers clean, living, and resilient, paving the way for a Vikshit Bharat.
Wonderful. Can we just have a round of applause for this, video that was created? Yeah. Thank you, Chavi, and thank you, our technical team for playing that. Okay, it's now time for us to move, on to the next segment of our session, and which is a discussion with a highly accomplished panel of experts who are with us here. And these experts have made significant contributions in translating river basin management philosophies into praxis-oriented approaches, and subsequent outcomes. So we have with us today Dr. Miriam Haritz, the president of the Rhine River Commission. Welcome, ma'am. Mrs. Birgit Vogel, the executive secretary of the International Commission for the Protection of the Danube River. Welcome, ma'am. Ms. Sumila Gulyani, who heads the Water Practice Division. Yeah, I will. Yeah, we can just take a seat here. It's fine. Then we'll go down. Yeah. Please. And Ms. Sumila Gulyani, who heads the Water Practice Division of South Asia within the World Bank. Welcome, ma'am. And of course, our keynote speaker, Mr. Rajiv Kumar Mittal, the Director General of India's National Mission for Clean Ganga. We are also very excited to have two young, charismatic professionals, working in the space of urban river management, who will join the panel in just some time. Ms. Anna Britas, who's a senior research associate with the National Mission with the National Institute of Urban Affairs, and Ms. Vandana Yadav, who is the Water Resources Advisor at GIZ. The panel discussion is going to be moderated by Mr. Rajiv Ranjan Mishra, who was formerly the Director General of the National Mission for Clean Ganga and currently is the Chief Advisor at GIZ and the National Institute of Urban Affairs. And it'll all be co-moderated by Ms. Laura Sustasic, whom we've just heard from before, the Director of GIZ's support to the Ganga Rejuvenation Program in India. But before we head into the panel discussion, I'd like our panelists and moderators, to perform an ethnic ritual which is indigenous, to the Indian culture, which is called Jal Kalash, what you see right here. Now, yesterday in the opening session, we were provided with a very powerful and resounding reminder of the value of that indigenous knowledge and philosophies are still relevant in contemporary water management models. So the Jal Kalash actually resonates very closely with that kind of an ethos. So in context of river management, the Jal Kalash ceremony that you will just witness now is the act of pouring water from different vessels into a common container, symbolizing unity in aspirations, ambition, and actions for nurturing our rivers. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd just like to invite you for the ceremony. If you could just proceed this way. Yeah, please. Wonderful. I think that certainly deserves a round of applause, right? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for that symbolic gesture. You may now take your positions on the podium. Please. And let me now hand over the baton to our moderators. Over to you, sir.
Will I start? I will start. I left my presentation with a small question to everybody. As an icebreaker, I was asking, think of a word if you think of your River Cities Reimagined. So, which word did you think, Sumila?
First. Maybe we start
last. Should be Mr. Mittal. Healthy. And Birgit?
Connecting lifeline.
Connecting lifeline, good. And Miriam?
Father
Rhine, wow. Sumila? Dynamic, lovely. You see, we are already starting to develop our word cloud for our ideal River Cities Reimagined. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I would like to start the discussion. We will also use these mics here. Okay, maybe it's better.
This also.
Yeah, we would like to start the discussion now, starting from Europe. We have here Father Rhine, exactly, so let's hear from Father Rhine. And the first of the elements I was mentioning also in my presentation to reimagine this paradigm on river cities was the governance element. So there are quite significant differences between how are rivers managed in Europe and in India. So I would like to ask Mrs. Harritz, the president from the Rhine International Commission, what about the governance system that you have in the Rhine, and can you explain us these different levels? The Rhine Commission is an international commission, obviously, that is a bit different from the Ganga, but yes, take us through, if you can give us an overview.
Well, thank you very much, and also thank you for giving me the honor for being the first river from Europe to be represented here. We are only the second largest river in Europe. The Rhine is 1,200 kilometers long. About 60 million people live around it across 6 different countries, and about 20 million of them depend on the Rhine River for drinking water. Treated drinking water, that is. So it's great to be here and to participate in this panel to talk about rivers specifically. And I would like to start with explaining why I said Father Rhine. It's actually not my invention. I start on the local level because that is what people call it. They refer to the river, especially in Germany, where the largest part of the river flows along, refer to it as Father Rhine. And we also have songs about the Rhine River, and in Cologne, which is a Rhine city where I live, and Bonn, which is the city where I work for the German Ministry for the Environment, which is my other job next to being president of this International River Commission. We do have even special seasons where whole songs are dedicated to the river. So I think that's important to keep in mind, because we need to have this connection from the local over the regional, over the national, and then the international level. Particularly in these challenging times when we look at the consequences of climate change, it is clear that we need transboundary cooperation, and river basin management doesn't stop at national borders. So I'm very happy that this year we celebrated our 75th anniversary. So only 5 years after the end of the Second World War, former enemies came together at one table to look at the shared challenges and problems faced in view of this shared river. So river basin management connects in practice all levels of governance. To address challenges like water quality, biodiversity, but also floods and droughts, particularly as effects of climate change, effective cooperation across all levels is essential, including the local level and including all different areas of expertise. I may point out to the fact that we had a Rhine River program, specifically we have that every 10 to 20 years within the International Commission, and we used to focus on climate change consequences with regards to flood. Now in our current action program, 2040, we focus much more also on droughts and low water levels, and we have predictions that the water temperature of the Rhine River is going to rise up to more than 4 degrees until the end of the century. You can imagine what that means for water quality, but also in terms of low level, because the Rhine is one of the most navigated rivers, and it's really also a trade and commerce route, and has been so for more than 2,000 years in the center of Europe. So national governments remain responsible for the implementation and also the financing of measures, but they cannot do that on their own. In federally organized states like Germany, but also Switzerland, which are both part of the International Commission for the Protection of the Rhine, they need the cooperation of the regions, and then particularly the federal states. And cities are often partners and also beneficiaries of such measures. For example, they benefit clearly from established systems like the information system and platforms run by our Commission, such as the Warning and Alarm Plan Rhine for flood situations, but also low water monitoring for less water situations. We are currently actually updating our climate change adaptation strategy after only 10 years, because we see what we thought was going to happen is happening to us way faster than feared and expected. And an important insight that all experts agree on is that near natural structures are more resilient to the effects of climate change, talking about nature-based solutions in that context. And we need to improve the connectivity between the different sections of the river through flood retention areas or renaturation measures. And these require the acceptance of the local population, and thus they're also part of our work. It's important to point out maybe that since we've been around for 75 years, we laid the foundations for what was to come around within the European Union, like the Water Framework Directive, but also the Floods Directive. They were established on the basis of the existing cooperation of mostly EU member states. Switzerland is not, but still, we actually were really one of the foundations of what happened much later than within the European Union when it comes to regulating the water sector, including the rivers. So coming back to how people feel this emotional connections, they see that basically daily. They are the first ones to experience if the river is not well. So they need to be included, and it's important to keep in mind that water management is not just a cross-sectoral issue, but a cross-level issue. And basically, effective river basin management is based on this cooperation throughout the levels, even on the international level when it comes to transboundary water cooperation. And it's the key to become more climate resilient. And actually, all of our success depends on joint commitment and local support. Thanks.
Thank you, Mrs. Haritz. Thank you. I see we can already identify a red thread here between the presentations. So the people that work with rivers at the end of the day work with an entity. No, we are not talking only about water, and that is what we hear from the Rhine, songs about the Rhine, connection to the Rhine, cities having a relationship to the river. So this gives us hope. We go away from the pessimism that I had at the beginning, and it is very encouraging. Thank you.
Great. So now we go to the next major river basin in the world. I mean, we are going to ask something from Danube River Basin. It's a major river basin with a very large number of member nations, bringing its own challenges. Like Rhine, you also deal with several nations. So we would be very much keen to know how exactly you effectively coordinate among different basin organizations, the governance, and then especially from the point of view of the institutional structure, different mechanisms, as it is very clear that managing river basins are multi-level, multi-sectoral, so new challenges also come. So how you deal with the new areas of challenge, the thematic areas, so what's the mechanism? And then this whole larger gamut of managing a basin. Where do the river city figure in the Danube Basin? And then how exactly the basin organization deals with the river cities? What are their challenges? What role they play? For what purpose you deal with them and how they contribute? And in this process, where is the position of nature-based solutions? A little long question, but
yes, I hope I can recall all of these questions, but I will try to do my best.
I will again come back if there is a
Of course, you just remind me, and I also would like to say, of course, there are a lot of songs in the Danube River Basin as well. Yes. So another similarity. And yes, I mean, for sure, Danube River Basin covers 10% of the surface area of Europe. So it is a significant basin flowing from Germany through Austria, Hungary, the Balkan countries down to Ukraine, Bulgaria and Romania, and having its confluence with the Black Sea, which is also an aim to reduce pollution to the Black Sea, which is also very important to us. So we have 14 contracting parties, countries in the Danube River Basin, although there are 19 in total, but the other 5 have a really small catchment area, so they are not part of the ICPDR paying the contributions. And the European Union is also a contracting party of the ICPDR. We have been cooperating for 30 years, so a long time. We celebrated our 30th anniversary last year, and we've achieved a lot. There's no doubt about it with our cooperation mechanism between all those countries that are compiled, and that's a challenge by EU member states and 5 non-EU member states. So the majority of the countries have to follow the legal requirements of the European Union. 5 countries don't. But still they signed a commitment that they are also doing their best to implement the Water Framework Directive. So knowledge exchange and learning is extremely important, and we are doing this via our 12 expert groups and task groups. So they go from river basin management to monitoring and assessment, pollution management, communication, and of course information management and GIS to illustrate all our achievements and tasks. I want to refer to the point of the cities. So I think there's no doubt that cities take a very special role in river basins. This includes the Rhine, the Danube, the Ganga, and we need to take them into account. Cities are the connecting points of not only the main river stem, but the tributaries, and they are actually the points of key exchange and also awareness raising, so that's critical. They are centers of society, culture, tradition, governance, and more, including politics. Cities are hotspots that can be affected by rivers. So we talk about floods, we talk about pollution that again can affect on water supply. And cities can be also sources of impact. So cities can significantly impact on rivers and the entire river basin through pollution, structural changes for flood protection, for example, and these negative effects can be significant. So all of this really makes it clear special attention needs to be given to cities when it comes to river basin management and water resources management, and that has to be done in an integrated way. The aim of it is to prevent negative impacts on cities and to prevent negative impacts from cities on the river. So, and the mechanisms of the river basin organizations are essential because it's kind of overwhelming, the challenges, and it can be done with the contributions of the countries, with the implementation on the national level. In the case of the Ganga, it's an interstate operation, but I also think that the mechanisms can be similar, and they are partly similar. Maybe just to mention in the end of my intervention that if we speak about the Danube, we have 4 capital cities along the 2,700 kilometer long Danube, which is Vienna in Austria, it's Bratislava in Slovakia, it's Budapest in Hungary, and then it's Belgrade, where we also have the confluence of the Sava into the Danube in Serbia. And all of these cities are managed in an individual way. We need to understand it within the ICPDR, and we are not addressing cities individually, but we are addressing them in an integrated way. Dr. Haritz has mentioned it, implementing the Water Framework Directive, the Floods Directive, taking, of course, significantly into account the Urban Wastewater Treatment Directive that really requires the construction of wastewater treatment plants, having great contributions to reducing pollution to the Danube River and in consequence to the Black Sea. I want to stop here because otherwise I think I get too long, and I hope I covered your questions.
Yes, I think you covered it quite well. And in fact, what I was about to ask about your advice to Ganga Mission, you already told about it, that what can be picked up by National Mission for Clean Ganga, also from some of your experience. Only thing is little bit on the nature-based solutions.
Yeah,
some case examples, because I know there are a lot to learn from.
Yes, I mean, of course, nature-based solutions have become more and more important. There's a reason for it, that we do know that grey infrastructure measures, they are important, but they are not only the only solution, and the combination of grey measures and the nature-based solutions are really important. We have a lot of examples along the Danube when it comes to the reconnection of wetlands along the Danube, but also the tributaries. We have a very good example below Vienna when a hydropower scheme has been constructed just below Vienna in the 1990s. The environmental requirements were, first of all, to replace the sediment that is held back above the hydropower scheme. So that is being done with a big effort on a regular level. And also all the grey infrastructure flood protection measures have been removed, and the wetlands of the national park reconnected. And if you have the chance once, if you know that you're flying above Vienna, you should have a look down. The Danube below Vienna now really looks pretty much like a natural river, providing wonderful retention areas in flood events, and of course habitats to biodiversity.
Thank you so much. I mean, for bringing the connectedness of river and basin and how they work both ways so clearly, and several other things. Thank you so much. So over to Laura for the next.
So just now from Europe, we fly again back to India, and we hear some points of view from the youth, which are actually our future and the ones who will implement and bring things forward. So I would invite Anna Britas. She is Senior Research Associate at the National Institute for Urban Affairs in India. So Anna, tell us a little bit, how can we involve youth, and how can youth initiatives help devise innovative solutions, especially when we are talking about this relationship between rivers, cities and their rivers?
Thank you, Laura, for your question. So, when we embarked on this mission on managing urban rivers, and we were working with a diverse range of stakeholders, but very early on, we sort of realized that there is a significant gap between us as practitioners and between academia, specifically the youth. We were doing some great work, but was it actually seeping into the levels of education? We were pretty much sure that it wasn't. And it was very important for us to sort of plug this gap because of two primary reasons. One reason is that this is valid for India as well as Asia Pacific. We have a huge favor of demographic dividend. More than a quarter of our population is actually identified youth. And to actually think about it, we bring out so many interventions and so many policies and so many plans, but actually who will carry it forward, right? It will be the youth. So there was a very important step that we needed to take, because in India, every year we have lakhs of people who are preparing to be architects, engineers, planners, so on and so forth. But water remained as a niche field, and it still does to an extent. There are not many attractive pathways for students to opt in to get into this field. So that was one very big reason that we realized that we need to sort of plug this gap and bring youth into this action. The second important reason was that we realized that while we were doing some great work, we needed some innovative ideas. We needed like that sort of blue sky thinking that we talk about, and who else but youth to sort of bring it in, right? We have with the digital revolution, we have so many new tools and technologies that are there, and the people who can actually tap into it and to sort of bridge that gap is the youth. So with this in mind, we were actually, for almost like 5 to 6 months, we were ideating, brainstorming with the National Mission of Clean Ganga and NIUA, how can we, meaningfully engage youth and not just, sort of do it in a performative way to actually make them part of this action. So that's when we sort of thought of different models. And the model that we actually thought was very innovative was that why not target student thesis, right? Student research. It is almost a mandatory element in most of the academic programs in India for undergraduate as well as postgraduate programs of a lot of disciplines. And we thought, why not we fund these ideas? Why not we open this call that they can work on reimagining urban rivers? And that's what happened in 2020. We launched our student thesis competition, wherein we decided every year, close to 20 students, we will fund, we will give them financial support, mentorship, and a national level platform for them to engage and bring out thesis ideas and to sort of, scale it up with our help. And what started off as a pilot, I must say that, over 5 years, we've successfully had 5 iterations. We've been able to fund almost 100 research projects. The student research projects cover almost 45 plus riverine ecosystems, more than 13 plus basins in India itself, and not just the river, but also associated elements such as wetlands, water bodies, etc. And that has been very innovative and, sort of eye-opening for us, because this is not an initiative we thought will become sort of like a flagship initiative, right? Just to sort of end and conclude my point, I would also like to bring in that what we did over the 5 years, it was obviously a lot of trial and error, but it was very intentionally designed. We didn't want students to just, sort of present something. We also wanted to sort of take it up further. A lot of times what happens is that we are so focused on, we put so much value on, like, say, international collaborations, treaties and dialogues, but we forget that, these will not sustain over time if we don't actually involve the youth in actually bringing them forward, taking them forward. And what really struck me yesterday in our opening session as well, what's important is intergenerational skills transfer, right? Not only are youth going to actually give to the older generation, bring out their new ideas, but we also actually have to transfer our history, our knowledge back to them. And it's a two-way street. It's not a one-way street, right? And with this mission, what is very intentional, like the word intentional I use, because we're not just funding student research and scaling it up, we're sort of building like a cadre of river-sensitive professionals into the sphere. So they may or may not be in the water field later on. They may opt to take in other fields, but they will have that river sensitivity in them. So with that, I would like to say that this is just one of our initiatives. Due to the paucity of time, I would like just to say that, we can create such programs, projects. We just have to identify the right mode. And we're also taking it further now. We're connecting the students with the cities as well. We're thinking of different models, such as river cells, that will be part of each municipality in India. And we plan to keep some dedicated slots open for these young professionals that have, been mentored by us. And over the years, we've seen actively, the amount of engagement that we've had with the academia has improved through these students. So we've connected with a wide range of academic partners as well. Also, a very important factor is that now, every year we get almost double the applications that we did the previous year, And that means that we're creating some impact, and water is becoming a lucrative field in India now. So I would like to end with that.
Thank you, Anna. We actually would like to hear more and more. It's really fascinating. And for everybody, I think, Anna, we have put a knowledge product outside, right? Where there is a list and an overview of this master thesis. It's on the table outside. You can have a look. And you will also see QR codes everywhere, more or less, if you want to know more about the projects. Thank you, Anna. Good. Thank you. I would like to remain in India now and go to Ganga. We have been discussing now the different approaches. We discuss about transboundary water management, and in India it is national, although India is a federation, as we mentioned, by the size and the complexity of having federal states and districts and all these different governance structures. It is in a way comparable also to an international river in Europe. So Mr. Mittal, you heard from Europe, you have taken us through your presentation earlier, so would you like to dive now into this idea of river cities and let us know how is in practice NMCG supporting this river cities new concept?
One of the things I would like to say at the start, I mean, all institutions are shaped by the kind of challenges before them and the context in which they operate. And even challenges change with time. As we heard from the Danube, now they are thinking about next 30 years. So definitely the priorities today are priorities, may not be the priorities day after 30 years. So one of the things which is coming out very clearly is like that in India, I mean the way the river basin management has evolved, we are having a direct action at the city level and the community level, a very, very direct involvement. Of course, Danube and Rhine are also doing, but they are more at the policy level, and through policy directives, they are pushing the cities towards the desired goal for the river basin organization. So in this line of thinking, the URMP initiative becomes very important for India, because a very important learning is that there is a lot of local knowledge, local action, which otherwise doesn't get captured in the overall planning of the basin if we don't directly interact and involve with them. So URMP, while gives us a chance to converge the city planning with the basin objectives, it also gives us a chance to learn from the local knowledge. The kind of importance we place to the traditional knowledge, I think it is equally important to have local knowledge also. There's a lot of local knowledge which comes when you interact with the various local subnational governments, and which ultimately help you the shape of the overall policy for the basin. I think that is it. I would like to set this point of time. And maybe we can share a few examples in the due course how this kind of initiatives are helping us.
Yeah, so could you give me some examples?
Yeah, we have one. I mean, I would like to request for a short video to share how the local level initiatives are ultimately helping in the broader river basin objectives.
Surat, one of India's fastest growing cities, is setting a benchmark in sustainable water management by aligning the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi's initiative, Jal Shakti Abhiyan, Catch the Rain, Where It Falls, When It Falls. To address urban flooding and water scarcity, Surat Municipal Corporation SMC has launched a large-scale groundwater recharge program under Jal Shakti Abhiyan 2024. Nearly 2,000 recharge systems have been installed in low-lying, flood-prone zones. These act as rapid response mechanisms, channeling excess rainwater into the ground. What once caused waterlogging and damage is now recharged into aquifers, enhancing both flood control and water security. SMC designed 12 customized recharge models, including adaptation of bore wells and new recharge wells, ensuring scientific precision for diverse site conditions. Large-scale rainwater harvesting structures have further improved groundwater levels across the city. Community participation has been pivotal through the 70-20-10 Jan Bhagidari scheme under the Swarnim Jayanti Mukhyamantri Shehri Vikas Yojana. Citizens are actively adopting recharge systems, turning conservation into a people's movement. This initiative has reduced flooding, ensured water security, and such initiatives clearly demonstrate the relevance of urban river management plans as they ultimately contribute to improved management of river basin, which is the ultimate objective of RBOs. Jal Shakti Abhiyan, Catch the Rain, Where It Falls, When It Falls.
I would also like to introduce my counterpart, Mrs. Archana Verma is there, who is spearheading this movement. As I say, one of the very important focuses in URMP is convergence also. How can we converge different activities going on towards the ultimate objective of river and water? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Amita.
Great. So we had a good overview of the three global important basins, Rhine, Danube, and Ganga. Challenges, improvements, progress made, innovations. So now we come to the world stage, and I'm going to ask Sumila from World Bank, water practice leader for South Asia. You have been, the bank has been generally be supportive of the basin approach and also the new initiative of the river city plans, urban river management plan. And you have been associated with Ganga plan for a longer time. So I think, can you reflect and tell us about the outcome? And also, as we have been discussing, it's a continuous process and long-term process. So what you see should be the outcome or should be our goal for the future. please reflect on the achievements, future approach, learnings, and then your ideas to go forward. And somewhere in this, as we look at the finances, because we look at the bank and other institutions for finances, so how this gap can be filled up? And can NBS play a role in reducing the cost of infrastructure, etc.? So how you feel the challenges and achievements? So please reflect.
Yes. Is it good? Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me as part of this very amazing panel. It's been really delightful to hear from all of you. So let me start by some context. One of the things we are noticing at the World Bank is there is an increasing interest among our clients, which are developing countries, in the area of water security, and within the area of water security on the issue of healthy rivers. So healthy rivers is just one subset. As our colleagues said, there's flooding, there's drought, and there's pollution. But pollution is a debilitating part of the development process. And many of our clients are now focusing on that issue. So that's number one. Number two, the bank has now been involved in many major river cleanup and river management programs. And the one major thing to take away from those is they are not a sprint, they are a marathon. So both Danube and Rhine, 75 years and 30 years. But the cleanup part is also a marathon. So our engagement in the Ganga Basin started in 2011 with a $1 billion program in 2 phases. But the government of India had been working on different versions of it since 1985, and they will continue beyond the World Bank's program. So in the Ganga alone, we have at least a 15-year commitment because our current program will go at least till 2026. Similarly, in Argentina, we worked on the Matanza Richuelo program. Again, 15 years of engagement, over $1 billion. We worked on Rio Bogota. This is a major river flowing through Bogota city. Again, 11 years and expensive and interesting. So there is a lot being learned there. And also now we have new programs in the Yangtze and the Yellow River in China that take a slightly different approach. So the second point in this background is that it's a marathon, not a sprint, and governments and the World Bank and financiers need to commit for a longer term, right? And the third point that I want to make is when you look at the pollution problem from a river basin perspective, you find, as many of our colleagues on the panel mentioned, that cities emerge as hotspots. So the river reaches the city, it's at a certain level of pollution, and leaves the city as at a different level of pollution, and very often drastically worsened pollution, right? So there is a need to look at the city and the river connect. And what we are learning is as we move forward, including in the Ganga Basin and in other rivers in India and in Bangladesh, I'll come to that in a minute, is that there is a need to combine the river basin approach with a city planning, city management approach. And those two governance frameworks are entirely different in most places. So the challenge at the river basin governance level is different from the challenge at the city level. And if those don't connect, you won't be able to shift the hotspot problem. You won't be able to tackle it. So that's a little bit of the background. The second piece that Mr. Mishra asked is, what is our experience? What are the lessons learned and what are some of the achievements? So let me step back on this. And again, let me build on the Ganga because we are involved in it on a daily basis and the team is right here. So the first takeaway is that infrastructure is necessary but not sufficient. So in any client country in the world, when they talk about pollution, their first instinct is how many hundreds of millions of dollars we need for sewage treatment plants, effluent treatment plants, in floods for embankments, but hard infrastructure. And very often that is a constraint, but it is not sufficient. So what the Ganga program has managed to do very well is start closing the infrastructure backlog in India on STPs. So they've gone from building a few STPs to 600 million liters of treatment capacity. And that was necessary, and it required innovation in infrastructure delivery and its maintenance, and that's a major achievement. But now, what the next step is that we are finding that at the city level, this infrastructure is not being adequately utilized. So that means that they haven't finished at the city level the sewerage networks required to use 100% of the sewerage capacity, and therefore the rivers are still not fully as clean as they should be. Similarly, industry bypasses the effluent treatment plant, turns it on only when the regulator or inspector is going to come. So there is action required beyond the creation of infrastructure. So it's necessary, but it's not sufficient. The second major point I'd like to make is that from a World Bank perspective, what is more a success in the Ganga program is the creation of the organization and governance mechanism, which is the National Mission for Clean Ganga, that institution. It wasn't there. It took a long time to build, capacitate, give it the powers with the government's regulation, with the World Bank support. And now we see in front of us a very capable organization that has not only technical and engineering capacity, but procurement capacity, financial capacity, project management capacity, ability to deliver at scale. And what you're hearing from the presentation today makes me very happy and very proud, is this movement towards becoming a river basin authority, and probably the first of its kind to start implementing river basin planning and management at scale. It's not easy because it's a multi-stakeholder task. So creating that institution will outlast any World Bank funding, and if that institution continues to grow as it should, then you've left behind something, the government of India, with the bank support, has created something that will outlast this generation of people who were involved. So that's really important. And the third and last point I'd like to make in this on lessons, achievements, is now is the time, and we are seeing this happen in different parts of the world, to move towards results-oriented planning, management, investment. So earlier, the focus was on closing the infrastructure gap, building the capacity. But as our senior counterparts in government themselves are noticing, the rivers and nalas or drains need to have been cleaner faster. So if you can make those the result that you reward different organizations that are working on this issue, if you start saying this is your target as opposed to creation of infrastructure, then we start getting somewhere. So at the national level, maybe overall river health and pollution in hotspots, as Mr. Mittal was presenting in his presentation. At the city level, what's going on in the stretches that go through the city. And so if you can start focusing on the results, the minds of the multiple stakeholders, then you can get somewhere. And that can also help with one of the questions that has come up. The infrastructure is really expensive, but if you hold the result as the more important one, and there is a limit on the amount of money that's available, they'll instantly start to find the infrastructure that is more critical, the nature-based solutions that are more affordable, and how those in combination start to give you the result you want. So let me stop there, and I can add further if needed. Thanks.
Thank you so much for covering a lot of areas, and I think very important to note that it's a continuous process, and we have been improving continuously. Now I turn to another young professional from our team from GIZ India, Bandana Yadav. And she is going to share some of her work very quickly. Unfortunately, Bandana, you are in the end, so we are little bit pressed for the time. Really bad thing for you. But see, I think we have already talked about different level of planning, the basin level plan and city level plan. Now, I think Laura mentioned about it. The districts are traditionally very important in India. There is always a dichotomy between the hydrological boundary and the administrative boundary. How we are addressing it through the district Ganga plans, what exactly is district Ganga plan, where we are, and what's the outlook, how it will help URMP.
Sure. Yeah. So as you have already set up the context for the district level planning, and I would like to just give a small brief about it. Like under the Namami Gange program, there's the district level planning approach. It has been undertaken. And this was after the authority notification 2016 that all the districts in the basin are mandated to form a district Ganga committee, and they're also mandated to prepare a district Ganga plan. And these are the plans which are, I would say, synergize with the river basin management and also with the needs of the districts also. So our project GRCA is also supporting for it, for preparing the 4 DGPs has been prepared in UP and Uttarakhand. And there's a handbook also had been prepared, which is like a guidance document. It is also available through the scanner, which we had put up on the posters. So that is so the other DGCs could also take up as a guidance and could prepare their plan specifically for the district-wise. So this is like a decentralized and a bottom-up approach, which we can say it's first of a kind in happening in a basin level management. And that's how our project is upon supporting it. If we talk about the institutional mechanism, so at the national level, there is a steering committee, which is chaired by the Director General NMCG. And then at the district, we have the district Ganga committees, which are headed by the district magistrate, who has the main role of involving all the local stakeholders, which and these stakeholders also comprise of the various representatives from the city officials, from the Gram Panchayat, from the irrigation department and other pollution department like that. So they are involved in the planning as well as the decision level making also. And just to give a brief about how it is aligned with the URMPs. So URMP is also based upon the 10 level agenda, which the DGPs also works upon the same objectives. For example, the riparian buffer protection or the wastewater reuse and others similar to that only. And if I have to quote few examples, so for example, the Kanpur DGP also works for this wastewater reuse management and how it could be done into several measures. So I guess I would just like to end here now, and I think we can. If we had time, we would have spoken about it more. So this is a good approach, which is interlinking from the basin to the city. So this is like an intermediary level, and it's also very, very crucial for the basin management.
Thank you so much. So that actually says that we cannot leave any level behind. So when you are planning, so it has to be like when DG showed the structure right from the Prime Minister to the district magistrate. Similarly, there is a kind of a structure of planning at different level. So now to quickly wrap up the discussion, I really very heartily thank all the panelists for enriching the discussion. We had really great deliberation after we had a very nice presentation from the Director General National Mission for Clean Ganga and also from Laura. One thing which very clearly emerges from all the presentation, even if the basins are different, the geographies are different, it's a multi-level task, multi-stakeholders, multi-level governance, people are important in this whole process, and as also emerged, the governance at different level are different. So how exactly you reconcile? It's a very typical example of a wicked problem. So I think to solve this wicked problem, the only answer is collaboration. We have to bring partners, we have to bring expert institutions, we have to bring everyone together into this whole gamut. And in that, youth plays a role. We saw some of the examples, the different level of planning we saw. We also talked about NBS. It's still a long way to go to mainstream and scale it up. But yes, these are the challenges. I pick up your words. It's not a sprint, it's marathon. So I think the marathon needs teamwork, needs all of us to contribute and collaborate. So when we talk of these collaborations in future, the takeaway will be we will have horizontal as well as vertical collaborations. Collaborations across different levels of government with non-governmental actors. Collaboration horizontally between different river basin organizations. as we are talking of river cities, more particularly, if we are talking about them, there has to be collaboration about the river cities. And then we need an alliance of river cities, and that's where we have got River City Alliance. So I think that's the answer. And again, picking up from what DG said about respect the river, we have to remember that the health of a river reflects the health of the society, health of the city, health of the villages along it. So I think we have to respect the river, but we have to respect it by doing our duty towards it, not only reverence. So reverence is all right, reverence is needed, respected, but we have to do our duty to really show that respect in action and in the ground. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much to the panel. Let me just be seated. I think sorry, do you have something to say?
Yes, we have one last
thing?
From the Rhine, please.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you so much. Just one quick sentence, really. I would like to thank you for giving us a chance to participate in this water ritual, and I think I speak for all of us, because that's where it starts, with cherishing the value of water. And where it ends is, I would like to remind you of the path forward towards the UN 26 Water Conference. I think our experiences are a valuable input in the preparatory process and in the conference itself. Thank you very much. There will be interactive dialogues, one on governance and one on transboundary cooperation, and I think we are excellent examples of how that works. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you once again, all of you.
Right. Thank you very much, to the panelists and also to the moderators. Yeah, I might fall down, but okay, be careful. Thank you for that. Please hang around. I know you must be getting a little restless, but please bear with us for just another maybe 10 to 15 minutes. We promise we will wrap up as soon as possible, okay? Because we really want to hear from you, in terms of what are your reflections and what are your insights, that you've gathered from this panel discussion. But before we go into that, there's a small video we'd like to play for you again, okay? And this is, based on something that our moderator alluded to during his summing up remarks. That is the River Cities Alliance. And while that video is being played up, I also want to invite to the stage, the Deputy Director General of the National Mission for Clean Ganga, Mr. Nalin Srivastav, and he'll take us through the video. And then after that, we will hear from you. So please bear with us. Can we have the video?
Rivers are the lifelines of civilizations, the veins that flow through history, culture, and progress. Our cities have long relied on rivers for their livelihoods, water, and transport. But rapid urbanization and unplanned development has led to severe degradation of these life-giving water bodies. While cities have largely been responsible for this problem, they can now play a key role in the solution. Recognizing this need, the National Mission for Clean Ganga, NMCG, and the National Institute of Urban Affairs, NIUA, embarked on an unprecedented journey in 2019 to promote river-sensitive urban development. The River Cities Alliance was launched in November 2021. GRCA serves as a first-of-its-kind dedicated platform for river cities in India to ideate, discuss and exchange information on sustainable management of urban rivers. Beginning with 30 member cities in November 2021, the Alliance has expanded to more than 145 river cities across India. The Alliance has developed a range of knowledge resources and capacity-building initiatives to support urban river management. Join us to become a part of this change.
A very good afternoon to everybody. This video has just given a context about River City Alliance, which is one of the, I would say, very important initiative when we are looking at urban river management and looking at urban river management plans. River City Alliance has been conceptualized so that cities can give to the rivers what they have already taken from rivers. So, and there are certain set of activities which have been conceptualized into it. The River City Alliance aims at conserving urban river and rejuvenating it. There are various kind of activities which have already been talked about, like creating river professionals, having river cells in different municipalities, having river-sensitive urban management plans, having river sensitivity built into the master plans of the cities. Because all these initiatives, when we combine together, then that would lead to kind of holistic approach to urban river rejuvenation. Another very important aspect which is being looked into as part of River City Alliance is to have certain basin connected cities. We are having cities and then we are connecting and aligning it along the basin wide, so that the problems which are there for each basin, the cities can deliberate on those problems and come out with solution. Another very important aspect which this River City Alliance would look into is development of various kinds of people participation program, development of various indices like Urban River Management Index, on which various cities will be evaluated, and cities will have a tendency or will be encouraged to move along that Urban River Management Index. So I would not take much time because we are already short of time. So this River City Alliance basically aims at river-centric thinking, which has been the kind of topic of discussion which we have deliberated during the session. And now we are upscaling, it has in fact already been upscaled to Global River City Alliance, which was launched in COP28. And we are now inviting all the members which are present here to join this Global River City Alliance to make it more vibrant and take all these activities which have been conceptualized as part of the River City movement into GRCA and take it forward. Thank you very much.
Right. Yes. Would you like to do that, sir? No? Okay, great. Thank you very much, Nalan sir, for that, for that overview of the Global River Cities Alliance. Okay, so now as promised, we'd like to hear from you, and again, just apologies in advance that we've overshot the time, but it's important for us to hear your reflections. For that, I'm going to invite to the stage, the Director of the Urban Program of the National Mission for Clean Ganga, Mr. Dheeraj Joshi. Please, Dheeraj, and I would also request you to then conclude the session organically, yeah?
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm the last one, but I will ensure that that you will be feeling quite happy after the session, because I don't know where to start, because I have one more exercise that we have to skip. And so I will directly come to the Q&A session. Questions have the power to change the course of history. One day, young Albert Einstein asked himself, what would it be like to ride alongside the beam of light? That single curious question eventually led to the theory of relativity, forever changing our understanding of time and space. So, to question, to be curious, to engage is what truly matters. Your voice could spark an idea that reimagines the future of our river cities. I request, Victor, if we can have one quick question from the audience here.
Sure. Yes, anybody? We'll come around with the mic very quickly. Can you guys help with this, please? Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for this amazing session. I'm Tapasya Mukamla. I'm a spatial planner, landscape architect. I'm Indian, but based in the Netherlands. And for over 10, 11 years, have been working with water-sensitive cities, both in India and in the Netherlands currently. Considering 12, 13 years back when I was studying, there was no such conversation. It's tremendous growth in terms of dialogue that's happening, especially focused on water-sensitive urban areas. My question is that we see that it's the whole strategic plan is divided into 3 stages until district. But what I see very important through my experience is how does it trickle down to municipality and ward levels. because comparing my experience both in the Netherlands and India, in the Netherlands, when we work at water-centric cities, a lot of work is being done at municipality and more at the local level. Whereas in India, I think we still have good strategies at the district scale, but implementing it at street level or at ward level still is very difficult. So I want to know if there is any such linkage from the district to ward or street level.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. And I think our whole session was basically focusing on three aspects: basin level, state level, and district level. And if you could have recalled the presentation by our DG and MCG, he also mentioned about the aspect of URMP, Urban River Management Plan. Sir, if you'd like to just answer that.
Thank you for the question, and a very valid question. I mean, because we are also facing challenges in terms of implementation. But as you see the entire process of formulation of the urban river management plan involves the involvement of all the stakeholders of the district and the municipality. Since URMP is focusing on the municipality, all the stakeholders of the municipal corporation are involved, and there is a lot of people participation also in terms of planning the entire thing. And if you visit our website, I mean, a lot of these plans are already there on the website, which has been reflected after the thank you. And 4-5 plans are already there on the website, which gives you the complete methodology of how people are involved and how interventions have been prioritized. Another very important feature of URMP, it's a cyclic process. So every 5 years, they are updated depending on the needs and the aspirations. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Chavi, if there is any online question to our panelists. Yeah, just.
Online audience have been very, very full and enthusiastic and have been listening to you. So there were too many questions, but I pick one. This is for Danube. What has been the experience in bringing the different expertise from different organizations together for integrated RBM? So this is an open-ended question that has been asked. Over to you.
Thank you. Birgit, I request if you can have a quick answer to that.
Sorry, I was kind of distracted. I have to admit that now. Sorry, I got a message and had to answer to it.
Experience from Danube to bringing together cooperation for integrated river basin management.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, as said beforehand, we have this 30-year experience, and the cooperation within the Danube River Basin was really accelerated when the Iron Curtain came down and the East and the West came together. And then step by step, with World Bank GF support, we established the cooperation framework that we have today, including these expert groups that I outlined beforehand. So I can only answer shortly to that due to the time frame that we have, but I will be happy to elaborate more and follow up.
Thank you, Birgit. Thank you very much. And I request our online audiences and audience present on site to share us questions if you have any through emails. We will be very happy to answer you. So in conclusion, as we bring this session to a close, we extend a warm invitation to each of you. And I thank the panelists and Ms. Chavi Sharda and our online host, Mr. Sumit Gautam, and Mr. Ludwig here, who has been like flag bearer of this Stockholm Mud Water Week, without whom this would not have been possible. Let's work together on this exciting journey and reimagining river cities. River cities are unique because not every city is blessed with the presence of river flowing besides it. This is a gift. And with every gift comes responsibility to cherish that. The action we take today must ensure that these cities continue to remain vibrant, resilient, and deeply connected to their rivers. Thank you once again for your time, your presence, and most importantly, your commitment. And I would like to announce here that India will be hosting, similar to Stockholm Mud Water Week, India International Water Week between September 22 to 26 in 2026. So see you all there. Thank you very much.